Setter, a bailiff's follower, who, like a setting dog, follows and points the game for his master. Also sometimes an exercise man. To settle, to knock down or stun anyone. We settled the cull by a stroke on his knob. We stunned the fellow by a blow on the head. Seven-sided animal, a one-eyed man or woman, also each having a right side and left side, a foreside and a backside, an outside, an inside, and a blind side. Shabbaroon, an ill-dressed, shabby fellow, also a mean-spirited person. Shaftesbury, a gallon pot full of wine with a cock. To shag, to copulate. He is but bad shag, he is no able woman's man. Shag bag or shake bag, a poor sneaking fellow, a man of no spirit, a term borrowed from the cockpit. Shake, to shake one's elbow, to game with dice, to shake a cloth in the wind, to be hanged in chains. Shake, to draw anything from the pocket. He shook the swell of his fogle, he robbed the gentleman of his silk handkerchief. Shallow pate, a simple fellow. Shallow, a whip hat, so called from the want of depth in the crown lily shallow, a white whip hat. Sham, a cheat or trick, to cut a sham, to cheat or deceive. Shams, false sleeves, to put on over a dirty shirt, or false sleeves with ruffles to put over a plain one. To sham abram, to counterfeit sickness. To shamble, to walk awkwardly, shamble-legged, one that walks wide and shuffles about his feet. Shanker, a venereal wart. Shanks, legs or gams. Shanks naggy, to ride shanks naggy, to travel on foot. Scotch. Shannon, a river in Ireland. Persons dipped in that river are perfectly and forever cured of bashfulness. Shapes, to shoe one's shapes, to be stripped or made peel. At the whipping post. Chabot or shap, a hat. Corruption of chapeau, cunt. Shark, a sharper, perhaps from his preying upon anyone he can lay hold of, also a custom house officer or tide waiter. Sharks, the first order of pickpockets, Bow Street term, AD 1785. Sharp, subtle, acute, quick-witted, also a sharper or cheat, in opposition to a flat, dupe, or gull. Sharp's the word, and the quick's the motion. With him, said of anyone very attentive to his own interest, and apt to take all advantages. Sharp-set, hungry. Sharper, a cheat, one that lives by his wits. Sharper's tools, a fool and false dice. Shaver, a cunning shaver. A subtle fellow, one who trims close. An acute cheat, a young shaver, a boy, sea term. Shavings, the clippings of money. She-house, a house where the wife rules, or as the term is, wears the breeches. She-lying, a shilling. She-napper, a woman thief-catcher, also a bawd or pimp. Sheep's head, like a sheep's head, all jaw, saying of a talkative man or woman. Sheepish, bashful, a sheepish fellow, a bashful or shamefaced fellow, to cast a sheep's eye at anything, to look wishfully at it. Sheepskin fiddler, a drummer. Shelf on the shelf, i.e. pawned. Sheriff's journeyman, the hangman. Sheriff's ball, an execution, to dance at the sheriff's ball and loll out one's tongue at the company to be hanged, or to rest in a horse's nightcap, i.e. a halter. Sheriff's bracelets, handcuffs. Sheriff's hotel, a prison. Sheriff's picture frame, a gallows. To shirk, to evade or disappoint, to shirk one's duty. To sherry, to run away, sherry off. Shifting, shuffling, tricking, shifting, cove, i.e. a person who lives by tricking. Shifting ballast, a term used by sailors to signify soldiers, passengers, or any landsmen on board. Shillelagh, an oaken sapling or cudgel from a wood of that name, famous for its oaks, Irish. Shilly-shally, irresolute, to stand shilly-shally, to hesitate or stand in doubt. Shindy, a dance, sea phrase. Shine, it shines like a shitten barn door. Ship-shape, proper, as it ought to be, sea phrase. Shit-sack, a dastardly fellow, also a nonconformist. This appellation is said to have originated from the following story. After the Restoration, the laws against the nonconformist were extremely severe. They sometimes met in very obscure places, and there is a tradition that one of their congregations were assembled in a barn and rendezvous of beggars and other vagrants, where the preacher, for want of a ladder or tub, was suspended in a sack fixed to the beam. His discourse that day being on the Last Judgment, he particularly attempted to describe the terrors of their wicked at the sounding of the trumpet, on which a trumpeter to a puppet show, who had taken refuge in that barn and lay hid under the straw, sounded a charge. The congregation, struck with the utmost consternation, fled in an instant from the place, leaving their affrighted teacher to shift for himself. The effects of his terror are said to have appeared at the bottom of the sack, and to have occasioned that opprobrious appellation by which the nonconformists were vulgarly distinguished. Shitting through the teeth, vomiting. Hark, ye friend, have you got a padlock on your arse that you shit through your teeth? Vulgar address to one vomiting. Shod all round. A parson who attends a funeral is said to be shod all round, when he receives a hat, band, gloves, and a scarf, many shoeings being only partial. Shoemaker's stocks. New or straight shoes. I was in the shoemaker's stocks. I had on a new pair of shoes that were too small for me. To shool. To go skulking about. To shoot the cat. To vomit from excess of liquor, called also catting. Shop, a prison. Shopped, confined, imprisoned. Shoplifter, one that steals whilst pretending to purchase goods in a shop. Short-heeled wench, a girl apt to fall on her back. Shot, to pay one's shot. To pay one's share of a reckoning. Shot betwixt wind and water, poxed or clapped. Shot and herring, a thin, meagre fellow, to shove the tumbler, to be whipped at the cart's tail. Shove in the mouth, a dram. Shovel, to be put to bed with a shovel, to be buried. He or she was fed with a fire shovel, a saying of a person with a large mouth. Shoulder feast, a dinner given after a funeral to those who have carried the corpse. Shoulder clapper, a bailiff or member of the catch club. Shoulder clapped, arrested. Shoulder sham, a partner to a file, see file. Shred, a tailor. Shrimp, a little diminutive person. To shuffle, to make use of false pretenses or unfair shifts. A shuffling fellow, a slippery shifting fellow. Shy cock, one who keeps within doors for fear of bailiffs. Sice, sixpence. Sick as a horse. Horses are said to be extremely sick at their stomachs from being unable to relieve themselves by vomiting. Bracken, indeed, in his Fairy gives an instance of that evacuation being procured, but by a means which he says would make the devil vomit, such as may have occasion to administer an emetic ether to the animal or the fiend, may consult his book for the recipe. Side pocket, he has as much need of a wife as a dog of a side pocket. Said of a weak, old, debilitated man, he wants it as much as a dog does a side pocket. A simile used for one who desires anything by no means necessary. Sidlery, crooked. Sign of a house to let, a widow's weeds. Sign of the 5 shillings, the crown. 10 shillings, the 2 crowns. 15 shillings, the 3 crowns. Silence, to silence a man, to knock him down or stun him. Silence in the court, the cat is pissing. A gird upon anyone requiring silence unnecessarily. Silent flute, see pego, sugar stick, etc. Silk snatchers, thieves who snatch hoods or bonnets from persons walking the streets. Silver laced, replete with lice. The coves, kixies, are silver laced. The fellow breeches are covered with lice. Sermonites at Cambridge, the followers of the Rev. Charles Simeon, fellow of King's College, author of Skeletons of Sermons, and preacher at Trinity Church. They are in fact rank Methodists. Simkin, a foolish fellow. Simon, sixpence. Simple Simon, a natural silly fellow. Simon Suckegg sold his wife for an addled duck egg. To simper, to smile, to simper like a furmity kettle. Simpleton, abbreviation of Simple Tony or Anthony, a foolish fellow.